Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts. Well, now it's time to turn our attention to the steering system, and more importantly, that death wobble. But before we do, let's take a look at this steering system. It all starts right here at the gearbox. Now, our gearbox is connected to the pitman arm, and the pitman arm's then connected here to a drag link. Now, the drag link comes down to this big old tie rod with tie rod ends on both sides, and in the middle here, you actually have a track bar that goes from one side to the other, and that's an important piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. You know, the factory gave us one stabilizer here, but again, we're trying to reduce all the harmonics we can out of this system, so we're going to add a second stabilizer down here to the bottom. So if you can get the hammer and give me a little help here, I'd like to back this one out. Yep, one more. Good. All right. Out comes that stabilizer. I'm just going to transfer the bolt over into the top and get it reinstalled.
Now, while you do that, what we're trying to do is we're trying to stiffen everything up. You can see here our track bar, it goes across all the way to each one of the spindles, and it's steady, it's stable. So our factory gave us one from the spindle all the way back to the track bar. We're going to add a second one. We're going to take one and we're going to go down here from the track bar, and we're going to come all the way up here to the tie rod end. When we come,
huge difference.
That'll make a big difference because that's coming to the tie rod end. That's giving us a nice fixed point over here to where we can stiffen that up. And you can actually see that. If I go up and down with that right now, that's a big bar with a lot of play in it.
Absolutely. So we'll reinstall, tighten everything down and get a good mount in. This drops right down into the same channel. We're going to reuse the factory bolts. And I love the polyurethane bushings on these. Just beastie, which is great for the severe duty of this Jeep.
Absolutely is. Now, on our second one here, the service manual actually tells us to pull it all the way out. When we pull it all the way out, we want to mark the center of it. Well, why do we want to do that? Because we're going to put it up here. We're going to attach it, I said earlier, to the track bar over to the tie rod. And then when we get to the middle, I can go ahead and I can secure it down. And one of the most important things you can do is after we have this one secured down is you want to get in when you're finished and you want to have a partner sit out front here and watch it, turn it left to right and make sure it doesn't overextend. Well, we'll get this buttoned up. You know, Brian, this Jeep's in good shape.
It's going to be awesome. You know what? I really do think I can get it stuck again.
Yeah, don't do that. Well, all we have left is the email question of the week.
John Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia has one of those aftermarket stereos and fancy amplifiers in his car with a few other accessories, but he's got to keep replacing the battery about every year. What do we advise Thomas?
Yeah, well, Thomas, that's a good question. You know, we upgraded the alternator on today's show. That may help, but batteries don't last forever. Batteries have lead plates inside. They're positive and negative lead plates, and through a chemical reaction, it'll charge your vehicle. But after time, Brian, what happens to these plates? You can see this just starts deteriorating and falling away like that. It's not going to last forever. Or you may have a parasitic draw, something that's drawn the battery down when it's not supposed to, a light bulb or other things. But it sounds like those amps and stereos doing a little damage to the battery. You might want to upgrade the alternator like we did.
One thing I can guarantee is our Jeep isn't going to have any electrical system issues.
No, not whatsoever. And that winch, we saw it pull that amperage. You're not going to have a problem with that alternator and that death wobble too.
Man, I wish I'd have had this thing before I had to call him.
I'll tell you what you need to do? I'll load it up. We'll take it with you this time. You can put that right in your receiver. No problem whatsoever.
Awesome.
Yep. For more about Tech Garage, follow us on Twitter. We're out of time for this week. From our garage to your garage. Thanks for watching Tech Garage.
Production assistance for Tech Garage is provided by Chipola College, located in Marianna, Florida. Founded in 1947, Chipola was recently ranked as one of the top 3 community colleges in the United States.